I think probably one of my biggest disappointments in my career is that I haven't what I would call had a real deployment. As a captain, we took our F-16s. We took 10 or 12. Well, no, I can't remember. It's been so many years. To South Korea, to Kunsan Air Force Base for a theater support package. Nuances in the definitions, but it wasn't actually considered a real deployment, so to speak. But we did everything you would do on a deployment. When you're preparing or when you're going to go on a deployment, it's a really long process. It's not just the 3 to 6 month time you're gone to wherever you're gone with the people and the airplanes. It's a year lead up to it. And then it's also, which a lot of times we forget to talk about, it's the reconstitution time when you get back from that deployment, right? So in the lead up, you're worrying about, okay, what is the mission of where are we going? How many airplanes am I taking? So how many maintainers do I need? Yeah. What does that location have? Is it very austere and there is nothing there? So I have to take everything with me, not just the people, but I've got to take every single tool. I've got to take all of the test equipment. I've got to take a lot of spare parts. Or am I going to a very full up, fully functioning base that already has those type of airplanes there that I have? So yeah. i.e. I can take less, right? What are the qualifications of my people, and what mix of people, knowing I can't take my entire group of 1,000 maintainers, right? What mix of people do I take in order to keep those airplanes flying for the duration to do the mission? And then the other big piece, especially when you're talking about fighters picking up and going over to a deployed location, you're talking about what airplanes am I taking? Of my fleet of 27, which 12 airplanes am I taking?
Yeah.
And you're making that decision based on what is the scheduled maintenance on all of my airplanes. If it's on every airplane, you have maintenance that's done, scheduled preventative maintenance, either by a calendar or by flight hours. For fighters, it's usually flight hours. So every 200 hours, you need to do, these things. Every 400 hours, you need to do these things. Every 1,000 hours, the airplane needs to leave your unit and go to a depot at Hill Air Force Base or Warner Robins Air Force Base and spend 6 months to a year there getting major refurbishment, right? So when I'm looking at my fleet, how many hours are left on every airplane till it needs one of those major inspections? Can I do one of those major inspections at that deployed location, or can I not? Am I going to be ferrying airplanes back during the deployment so I can be swapping them out with ones from home location? Or the 8 that I take over are the 8 I have for the entire 3 months, 6 months, whatever? So you're thinking about and planning all of those pieces. It's a really in-depth, complicated process that again takes maintenance and operations working together to put that plan together so you can get the entire package of people, airplanes, equipment off the ground and to the deployment. Then, of course, while you're at the deployment, and this was true with my helicopters at my last unit, it was a rescue wing. I had H-60s and C-130Js in the unit. As the group commander, when we sent our guys off for the deployment and sent our helicopters and our 130s, they go to an austere location where weather and corrosion factors and wind and dust were really a problem. So you're doing what you can to keep those airplanes flying while you're deployed. But then when you get back, you come home and you've got a lot of broken aircraft and broken people, if you will, right? So the third part of that deployment, which we tend to forget about, is that reconstitution phase, is getting those airplanes healthy again fixing everything you couldn't fix, that you were just putting Band-Aids on, to keep it flying and keep the mission going, to actually get the airplane back and do long-term fixes and root cause analysis on what's actually wrong. Same thing with any of the equipment, replenishing your tools and your kits and your parts, your spare parts, your bench talk, all the small things, whether they're seals or sealant or screws or fasteners, right, that you have to take with you. And then your people. That's the other big part of it, right, is the people have just been gone, from home for however they've been gone. They've been gone from their families. They've been in an environment where all they've done, 12, 24 hours a day is eat, sleep, and work on the airplanes. So they get home and they're tired and they need to rest and reconstitute. So the deployment cycle really is this whole long year and a half, 2-year process sometimes, to support that, 3 months or 6 months you're gone. It's not just that time you're gone, right?